Logistical relationships within the firm. From a company-wide perspective, the system and total cost approaches to logistics require an understanding of logistics and its relationships with other functional areas. Because in other slide is devoted specifically to procurement, our discussion here focuses on logistical relationships with finance, production, and marketing. The finance staff is often charged with the responsibility of allocating the firm's funds to projects desired by the various operating departments. As such, the finance department is often instrumental in approving capital budgeting decisions that affect logistics, such as the acquisition of materials handling equipment and packaging equipment. In such situations, finance personnel may decide between purchasing or leasing the relevant equipment, assuming they have approved the decision to acquire it. Inventory is another area where finance and logistics can interact. A basic challenge for the two areas is that the finance department often measures inventory in terms of its cost or value in dollars, whereas logistics tends to measure inventory in terms of units. The differing ways of measuring inventory can create potential friction between the two groups, as illustrated in the following example. From a cash flow perspective, the finance department might prefer to sell 2 boxes of hair dryers worth $1,000 than to sell 15 boxes of hair shampoo worth $900. Alternatively, from a productivity perspective such as the number of boxes handled per worker, the logistics department might prefer selling the 15 boxes of hair shampoo rather than the 2 boxes of hair dryers. In addition, in times of inflation, identical items added to inventory at different times means that each unit has a different cost, and even though inventory levels are not affected, it makes a difference whether an organization uses historic cost or current value as an indicator of the inventory's total value. Furthermore, certain items of inventory lose value over time, and the authors have had consulting experiences with companies that showed a particular SKU to have a market value of $0 while the company's warehousing facilities contain several hundred units of physical inventory of the particular SKU. One of the most common interfaces between production and logistics involves the length of production runs. In many cases, the production people favor long production runs of individual products because this allows the relevant fixed costs to be spread over more units, thus resulting in a lower production cost per unit. Having said this, long production runs generate large amounts of inventory, and it is often the logistician's responsibility to store and track the inventory. It's generally much easier to store and track 5 units of a product than to store and track 500 units of the product. Another consideration with long production runs is that sometimes excess inventory for particular products occurs because of limited demand for them. At a minimum, these products add to a company's inventory carrying costs and also take up space that could be used to store other products. Slow-selling products may also increase a company's handling costs, as illustrated by a situation in which forklift drivers would periodically move 150 refrigerators from one warehouse area to another, just to ensure that the company's managers would not see the refrigerators sitting in the same place for an extended period of time. You may find it difficult to believe that these 150 refrigerators were moved throughout the warehouse for nearly 5 years before managers were alerted to the behavior. Increasing utilization of the postponement concept also influences the interface between production and logistics. More specifically, some value-added activities that were traditionally performed at a production plant are now performed in warehousing facilities. As a result, warehousing facilities are adding new types of equipment and being configured differently to allow specific value-added activities to take place. Contemporary marketing places a heavy emphasis on customer satisfaction, and logistics strategies can facilitate customer satisfaction by reducing the cost of products, which can translate into lower prices as well as bringing a broader variety of choices closer to where the customer wishes to buy or use the product. Logistics strategies offer a unique way for a company to differentiate itself among competitors, and logistics now offers an important route for many firms to create marketing superiority. The following discussion about the interactions between logistics and marketing focuses on the marketing mix, sometimes referred to as the 4 Ps of marketing. Decisions regarding place involve two types of networks, namely, logistics and the marketing channel. Logistics decisions concern the most effective way to move and store the product from where it is produced to where it is sold. An effective logistics system can provide positive support by enabling the firm to attract and utilize what it considers to be the most productive channel and supply chain members. Channel members are frequently in a position to pick and choose which manufacturer's products they wish to merchandise. If a manufacturer is not consistently able to provide a certain product at the right time, in the right quantities, and in an undamaged condition, the channel members may end their relationship with the supplier or cease active promotion of the supplier's product. From a marketing perspective, place decisions may also involve new strategies for reaching customers. A popular contemporary marketing strategy involves co-branding, which refers to an alliance that allows customers to purchase products from two or more name-brand retailers at one store location. Examples of co-branding include Starbucks coffee shops located within Marriott hotels, Subway restaurants located within some Walmart stores, and co-located Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin-Robbins stores. From a marketing perspective, co-branding offers potential customers convenience by allowing for one-stop shopping as well the opportunity to purchase brand name, rather than private label, products. From a logistical perspective, one decision involves product delivery to the particular retail locations. Should, for example, each co-branding party deliver its respective products to a particular location, or should the co-branding parties co-load vehicles to minimize the number of deliveries that arrive at a particular location? While the former might result in higher delivery costs because of multiple deliveries, the latter requires a higher degree of coordination between the co-branding parties. A key price-related decision for marketers involves how a product's transportation costs should be reflected in its selling price, and this has proved to be a particularly vexing issue for some online merchants. For example, should a company's selling price reflect its product's landed cost, which refers to the price of a product at the source plus transportation costs to its destination? On the one hand, a selling price that is based on a product's landed cost allows the seller to offer free delivery of the product to prospective customers, because the transportation costs associated with delivery are captured in the landed cost. On the other hand, a selling price that is based on a product's landed cost could result in a substantial increase in a product's selling price, and a higher selling price tends to decrease buyer demand for most products. One way that some online merchants address this conundrum is to require a minimum order amount to qualify for free delivery. In addition to transportation considerations, logistics managers may play an important role in product pricing. They are expected to know the costs of providing various levels of customer service and therefore should be consulted to determine the trade-offs between costs and customer service. Because many distribution costs produce per unit savings when larger volumes are handled, the logistics manager can also help formulate the firm's quantity discount pricing policies. A number of potential interfaces are possible between marketing and logistics in terms of product decisions. For example, as noted earlier, the marked increase in product offerings which allows for more customer choice creates logistical challenges in terms of identification, storage, and tracking. Another product interface between marketing and logistics involves the amount of particular SKUs to hold. Marketers often prefer to carry higher quantities of particular items because this reduces the likelihood of stockouts. However, from a logistics perspective, higher quantities of inventory, 1. necessitate additional storage space and, 2. increase inventory carrying costs. Product design, which is often the purview of marketers, can also have important implications for logistical effectiveness and efficiency. For example, long-neck glass beverage containers might be more distinctive than aluminum cans. However, from a logistics perspective, long-neck bottles take up more space and are more likely to be damaged than aluminum cans. In addition, marketers' growing emphasis on offering sustainable products that meet present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs can also impact logistical decisions. Consider, for example, fair trade products, those that guarantee a better deal for producers in the developing world through fair and stable prices, as well as teaching farming methods that are environmentally sustainable. From a marketing perspective, customer demand for fair trade products, such as coffee or chocolate, has resulted in some companies establishing distinct fair trade brands. From a logistical perspective, an organization's commitment to selling fair trade products, such as coffee or chocolate, may result in changed sourcing requirements for the necessary raw materials. Many promotional decisions require close coordination between marketing and logistics. One important situation concerns the availability of highly advertised products, particularly when a company is running pricing campaigns that lower the price of certain items. Few things are more damaging to a firm's goodwill than being stocked out of items that are heavily promoted in a sales campaign. In addition, in some instances, imbalances of product supply and demand can be viewed as bait-and-switch tactics, that is, enticing customers with the promises of a low-priced product, only to find that it is unavailable, but that a higher-priced substitute product is readily available. Moreover, once a decision is made to promote the introduction of a new product, the logistics staff assumes responsibility for having the product in place on the scheduled release date, not earlier, not later. The complexity of so doing is well illustrated by looking at how Apple manages the release of new versions of the iPhone. Because the iPhone is manufactured in China, Apple pre-purchases space on air freight carriers such as FedEx in order to move the devices to distribution centers in various parts of the world. In order to minimize opportunities for theft and other glitches, Apple security personnel will accompany the shipments from the factory floor to the different distribution centers.